Kingdom is the same, is almost the same price. Kingdom is $6 for me. I mean, if you and if I'm glad you liked watching it, and it's a fun, interesting game. But I would say if you, man, this is a little bit laggy on my end. I don't know why it's lagging so hard. Let me check. What exactly do I have open that would be causing this game to lag? For the price, there are better games that are better priced in my region of the world. Now, in your region of the world, it could be $5, and something like Kingdom could be $15 for you. I don't know. You have to sort of keep in mind. I live in Asia. Uh, well, specifically, I live in China. So there is a bit of a difference in price for me compared to other people. Games in China are cheap, which I consider to be one of the benefits of living here. Games here are cheap. So when a game is listed as like the same price in China as it is in America, like the real price, um, it's very noticeable in China. And for a game like Kingdom, I can get like 20 hours of content out of Kingdom easily. How many times have I even played this on stream? Whereas that game, I can't even fill a full stream with it. And it's not like I'm streaming that much. I stream 5 hours at a time. There are people who stream like 8 to 12 hours at a time. It's interesting though. I think if I was in America and I was not so conscious of the value that I can get in China versus what I get in America, I probably wouldn't have this opinion or this feeling. And I do think that what they did is neat and interesting. I guess I just wish there was a little bit more. There was a little bit more to it. There were sections that I could have revisited. There was the in the dungeon there were at least two walls, probably three walls that I could have used bombs to blow up, and then if I went back even farther than that, I could see there having been more. Right. I need to not do anything too crazy. Let's build that and this. Get this side defended. I'm not sure how I'm gonna cut up the streams that I where I play two games, because the way that I've been dividing everything on YouTube has been like, okay, these are all the streams, and then these are the streams, the parts of the stream that are specific to these games. So for it's a blood moon, isn't it? For Darksiders, all of those streams, all of the Darksider streams are in one area, and they have their own playlist. But then they're also part of the All Streams playlist. I guess I'll just have to sort of upload it as two parts. Like this is part one of the stream, and this is part two of the stream. That's the simplest and easiest solution I have. I could check real quick to give you some comparisons in terms of prices. This is good conversational um, for me. Good good conversation that I can have while playing games. Let's go to my wish list. And let me switch over to here. Okay, wish list. Let me sort by top selling. Okay, games that I can get for the same price as what I just played, as Evo Land. Puzzle Cars, Vampire Survivors, Guacamelee 2, Vampire Survivors. No, it'd be the same. It would still be cheaper. Starry Night, Xinjiang, uh, which currently is discounted, but it won't be probably by the time anyone on YouTube's watching this. Helldivers, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Sword and Fairy, Among Us. Oh man, you can get a lot of good content from Among Us. Shinmu 3. Wow, I could get Shinmu 3 for the same price as that game. Whoa. I didn't realize Shinmu 3 was discounted so heavily right now. I already have this one. Iron Harvest, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. That is discounted to be quite cheap. But I do wonder, in your region of the world, how does it compare for you? How 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 are prices on your end? I remember one of the first games that I saw that was like regular price in China was Near Automata, and because it was priced at like, I think the conversion rate would have been like $70 or $80 compared to other games that are like $15 maybe. Because it was priced so high, I never got it at that price. I never considered getting it at that price. Oh, I'm asking anyone who's watching. If you want to watch, if you want to check, you can check, but it's not necessary. If you don't want to check, you don't have to check. The My stream just asked me, "Are you asking me?" I'm just asking in general. It's something for you to consider. And for me, I mean, I'm not going to get a refund on any of these. I wouldn't ask for a refund anyway. I've gotten content out of it. I enjoyed it enough. But it is one of those things that for people who are a little bit more on the frugal side, or perhaps who don't have a lot of money, you can get a lot more game time and have a lot more fun with something like um, Kingdom, for example, than a lot of the other. Well, not a lot of the other games. Than Evoland. But that's my opinion. Everyone has their own thoughts and whatnot, and you're entitled to your own opinion. It's just like, okay, here's an example. Within the Sonic community, which you may have your opinions about it already, but within the Sonic community, um, one thing that I have read quite a lot, and I would not really consider myself part of the Sonic community. I don't talk to anyone there, but I do read the stuff that they post because I do like Sonic. I think Sonic is an interesting character, and interesting in the I grew up with him kind of way, not in the I think that he is a dynamic character. No, he's a very two-dimensional, gotta go fast character, but that's what I like about him. I like his personality. He's the 90s embodied. He embodies the 90s. I think that's how I should phrase it. Anyway, the Sonic community loves Sonic Heroes. Sonic Heroes was one of the first Sonic games that I hated. I absolutely despised that game. And that is the game that so many people in the Sonic community absolutely love. And I don't understand how they can like it. To be fair, I did play the PlayStation 2 version, which is supposed to be the most broken of all the versions. But man, I did not like that game. Like, I had just played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on the Dreamcast. Sonic Adventure 1 was pretty good. Sonic Adventure 2, I would say, was one of my favorite games at the time. At that point in time when I was a kid, and I came back to it even after I played Sonic Heroes, which I barely played any Sonic Heroes. I did not like that game. But Sonic Heroes was the point when I realized, all these people who say that Sonic games are not good, I finally get where they're coming from. I understand why people clown on Sonic because of Sonic Heroes. I get it. I get it. And then Sonic 06 came out a few years later, and that game was awful. I never played it. I watched other people play it. Um, I have learned over the years that for the most part, for me, it's better to wait for other people to play a game unless there's some pre-order thing that I really want. It's better for me to wait for other people to play the game first and not get it at launch unless there is something that is like, if I don't get this at launch, I don't want to play it, period. And if there is something in the game that if I don't get this at launch, I don't want to play it, period. If there's that level of content that is behind the pre-orders, I need to start questioning if it's worth getting at that point as well. Because maybe they're putting that kind of stuff behind the pre-orders because they don't think it's going to sell well in general. But who knows? It could just be that I'm a super fan of whatever it is, and I really want that thing. I'm gonna have to stop and eat some grass. I'm lucky I have this field here. Hoping this portal's not activated since I last passed it. Okay. Gonna make my way back. Good, I can recruit this guy. As of the time of me doing this stream, Sonic 2, the movie, has been released. I'm in lockdown. I couldn't see it even if I wanted to. Sonic 1 was a good movie. I think I watched it twice in a row. Now, I did watch it on streaming services because it was I think we were still in quarantine mode at that time when I saw it. I think it was like we need to be careful and there's this virus that has come out and all that stuff. I think that was the situation we were in China. Anyway, when it came out, I watched it twice in a row streaming, and I I I really like that movie a lot. That's the kind of movie that I could see myself rewatching again and again. Um, it was good. It was very. I don't know how else to put it. I expected it to be absolute garbage, and it was definitely one of the best movies I saw that year. Now, granted, I didn't watch a lot of movies that year. I didn't watch a lot of movies in 2020, but even so, it was still a good movie. And I would recommend it to anyone. I would recommend it to my own mother. I would say, if you want to see a movie that is good and entertaining, watch the Sonic movie. That movie's good because I liked it. I would say if I compared that movie to most of the Marvel movies, I would say 80% of the Sonic movie would be enjoyable for someone like my mom. Whereas it depends on the Marvel movie, but probably only like 50% of the Marvel movie at best would be enjoyable. There would be certain parts that are just snooze fests. Because even for me, there were parts of those Marvel movies that were boring. And I would imagine that I would be one of the target audiences for those kinds of movies. Then again, I also didn't watch a lot of those movies when they first started coming out. I skipped all the Iron Man movies. Um, I'm trying to think. I think the Spider-Man movie was probably no. Which one came out first, the Spider-Man movie or the Guardians of the Galaxy movie? Maybe it was Guardians of the Galaxy. That maybe I saw that one first, and then I saw Spider-Man, or I saw Spider-Man and then I saw Guardians of the Galaxy. Either way, one of those two was the first one that I saw, but I didn't think of it as being part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I just thought of it as being, oh, this is a movie and I think it's pretty cool and I like it and everything. And for me, um, aside from those two movies, Pretty much every other Marvel movie that I've watched, I've been kind of indifferent on. Like I would be okay if I hadn't watched them. They were not that interesting to me. But I'm also the same person who I've still never played Kingdom Hearts, and everyone acts like that game is the best thing since sliced bread. So maybe keep that in mind when you hear my opinions. I'm also not a big fan of Mickey Mouse. I get that a lot of people like him, and they're crazy about Disney and stuff. I'm kind of eh. There's some things about Disney that I think are cool and interesting and fun and part of your childhood and everything, but definitely feels more and more manufactured as the years go on. A lot of the older stuff, I don't know, even some of that older stuff. I'm trying to think what some of my favorite Disney movies would be. Black Cauldron. That was a Disney movie, right? Black Cauldron. The Black Cauldron, 1985. Yeah, that's a Disney movie. The Black Cauldron's a Disney movie. I like that one. Um, 101 Dalmatians. I like that one. What would be some other movies that I liked? Now, if you ask me characters, there are characters in movies that I liked. Uh, ba, ba, ba. Okay, let's get these cut down. I want to push forward on this side as far as I can. Uh, who who would be? Was that a Disney movie? The Oliver and Company, I think it was called. Oliver and Company. Yeah, that was a Disney movie. Okay. I couldn't remember if that one was Disney or not. Like I said before, maybe maybe I'm just a little too hipster in some ways that I can't enjoy some good stuff sometimes. It's not that I hate Disney movies or anything like that. They just don't speak to me like they seem to speak to other people. Yeah, I did. I like Tangled. I like Tangled. Tangled was a fun movie, and I like the Tangled series. That was good. That's true. I don't know why he keeps running backwards. Yeah, yeah. Tangled was good. And I liked Eugene in Tangled. Um, I liked Maui for the most part. I liked Maui and Moana. I think that was Moana, right? The one where they're on the on the boat, and you've got Maui, who is voiced by The Rock. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that name correctly. I think I have no no workers. Uh oh. I need to get some workers. I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but the whole reason why I have a bit of a negative taste in my mouth sometimes with Disney is because it was shoved down my throat a bunch as a kid. I had to watch a lot of those 90s movies that everyone is crazy about. I had to watch a lot of those at least I there were times where it felt like I was watching them every day, but I would say I probably watched them minimum 5 or 6 times every year. And it wasn't like there was a new one coming out every few years. It was like, hey, The Lion King just came out X number of years ago. We're going to watch that. Oh, you're in school today and I need to grade papers, so we're going to put on The Lion King. You're going to watch that. And it's like, haven't haven't we already watched that? Oh, that wasn't in this class. That was in a different class. Oh, okay. So everyone's just going to show us The Lion King. It's the only movie they have in the whole school. Um, but that's my take. That's my take on a lot of the a lot of my experiences. Just too much. It's like if you, let's say that you tell someone your favorite food is pizza. Is pepperoni pizza. And you say you love pepperoni pizza and it's your favorite. Now imagine every day for a year, the only food that you have for dinner is pepperoni pizza. And sometimes you also need to eat pepperoni pizza for breakfast and or lunch during that year. And then stretch it out to a childhood. You're, you're gonna get tired of it after a while. No other toppings. No, you cannot have a supreme pizza. You cannot have a mushroom and pepperoni pizza. No, you can't do that. Just pepperoni. And that's it. At first, I could see a lot of people saying, I like it. I got no problem with it. What's the big deal? And maybe pizza's not the best analogy because people like pizza. Maybe ramen is a better analogy. You have to eat ramen every day, which I think if you've been to college, you probably experienced that in your life, where you had to go days where all you ate was ramen. Even when I was living in Japan, I had days where all I ate were noodles, like the whole day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, every meal was noodles. That's actually part of why I got really sick of udon once upon a time. I was just so tired of udon noodles. And it was largely because I ate them pretty much every day for every meal for maybe about a week. And then I still had to keep eating them frequently after that. But this is when I was in Japan. I was a fully grown adult. I just couldn't afford anything else. Everything was way outside of my budget. Like I had made a budget and I'd said this is my budget and this is what I'm gonna go buy. And then I get there and they're like, "Hey, you remember that budget you had? Yeah, all you're gonna blow all your budget on the rent. Yeah, we know that we said we were gonna have you stay in the dormitory, but guess what? You have 3 days to find an apartment or you have to leave. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way to change it. The dorm is full, and no, you can't talk to any of the students because they're not here yet." So I had to find an apartment in Japan on my own by myself. I mean, technically, I had the school kind of helping me, but I still had to pay for it by myself. It was a pain. See if I can get this boat done. If I can get this boat done, that means I could get this mission done today. That'd be nice. We're almost at 4 hours of stream time. All right, a little bit more money. Let's see how much of that boat they get done before they lose their hammers. Yeah, let's go ahead order 2 more workers just in case. I think that the experience in Japan was overall, for me as a human being, a positive experience. But it was not a positive experience in the way that you would imagine it to be. Like, it was not a, wow, I'd love to do that again. It was much more of a, I learned a lot by having this experience, and I think I improved as a human being. And I know more what I'm capable of and what I'm capable of enduring. And for me, I really feel like on some level it was the study abroad program that I was a part of that dropped the ball. They they messed things up pretty bad. And then there was also the poor communication between the school that I went to and, well, I guess both the schools I went to, that's how I should put it. The school that I went to and the school that I studied at, studied abroad at. I remember I was taking exams and I got a phone call from the study abroad office and they left. I was taking a math exam. I think I was taking statistics. And I get a phone call and obviously I can't answer because I'm in the middle of like a final exam. And after the exam, I listened to the message that they left me on my phone. Yes, I had a cell phone at that time. And halfway through the message started off with, "Hey, we need you to come into the office and sign these forms so that you can get this kind of money, and that'll help go towards your study abroad fund and da 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 da." And halfway through his message, he said, "Oh wait, I'm someone here is shaking their head, so it's too late for him to apply for this." Ah, okay. Well, then never mind, and you can disregard this message and da da da. And I was like, what? What's going on? And I was really confused by the whole thing. Like, why would the study abroad office call me to tell me to come in to fill out a form to get more study abroad money, and then halfway through realized that they had told me to come sign up for it too late in the year, because I was going to be studying abroad in April. Uh, it was a big old mess. But I went to the Japanese professor and I talked to him about it, and he was visibly upset and he was frustrated about it because I'm pretty sure he could tell that they had dropped the ball when it came to me, and I can only imagine. I know he had at least two other people that semester who were going to study overseas, and then the previous semester he had just had one or two other people who had studied overseas. I can only imagine how frustrated he was with the study abroad offices after all of those experiences, and then for me to be having the same issues, the same experiences potentially as other students. I can only guess how frustrating it would be for him. I've had to deal with those kinds of situations before, and they're very frustrating. And there's not a whole lot you can necessarily do about it either. But that's why it sucks. I'm gonna get this wall built. Then I can do a push this way. I don't think I would have come to China if my experience in Japan had been as rough as it was. If my experience in Japan had not been as difficult as it was, I probably would have ended up um, being satisfied with the experience, being happy with the experience, and I very well could have ended up either one taking up. I actually got a job offer just before I left when I was in Japan to work for a TV station as a TV show host because their host was leaving and I had actually appeared on the show as a guest. And for them, they were like, "Oh, you're like a natural in front of the camera and you're very confident and you're very chill. You don't act too crazy. You're very mature for your age." All of these nice things. And then, in addition, the host and I were actually from the same hometown. We're both from North Carolina. So I got along with the host really well. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I would recommend you in a heartbeat for this." So I had that going for me. Um, and then the company that I worked for was working in cooperation with the TV station, so it would have been really easy for me to do that transition into being a TV show host because I would have still been working kind of with the company originally that had introduced me to do the interview on the TV show. Uh, but yeah, yeah, it was it was it was a cool experience, and I could see that I would have ended up staying there and doing that. And then I also did translation work for a video game company, Um, though I have to be honest, I was probably not qualified for that. It was just I needed a way to earn money, and they were willing to hire me. But my Japanese was not good enough, in my opinion. And this is my opinion. This is not the company's opinion. This is not the reality of the situation. In my own personal opinion, I don't think my Japanese was quite good enough to actually do that kind of a job. But I did it, and I did it for almost a year. I mean, they could have fired me. They could have gotten someone else. It's not like they were hurting to hire someone. The company was right next to a university. They could have gotten someone else if they had wanted him. It could very well just be that um I overestimated other people's ability, or maybe I underestimated my own ability. I mean, learning a second language is difficult, and growing up, there was always I was around a bunch of people who didn't necessarily, and when I say around a bunch of people, I mean like my classmates and stuff, who didn't necessarily understand why sometimes there would be people who struggle with the English language. Now, if you knew the schools, the kind of schools that I went to, that probably sound a bit odd because they were not necessarily good at English themselves, but um, they would make fun of the foreign students, the exchange students, the international students. Um, if we had someone at our school who didn't speak English as their first language, the other students would just make fun of them like nobody's business. Um, and I I can only imagine how rough it was for these kids, because for me, when I went overseas and I needed to learn a second language, yeah, it was very eye-opening at how much work and effort goes into it. And then you're asking a child to do that much work and effort so that they can be fluent enough to be in a class with native speakers. So it's not just like a cultural thing that they have to deal with, it's a language difference. Yeah, it's got to be rough for them. And there I will watch streams, and I'll watch people do streams, and some of these people will be like, "Oh, English isn't my first language. I'm sorry that my English isn't very good." Dude, if English is not your first language and you're able to express your thoughts and opinions and ideas clearly to someone who's reading them while you're streaming, while this person is streaming, you are doing an amazing job. You're I would I personally would say your English is probably better than any other second language that I speak. Um, but again, that's my opinion of the situation, and I know some people, and by some people I mean people besides my own mom. I know some people that would say I'm too harsh on myself sometimes when it comes to these to a foreign language, but it's because when I don't know something, I really like people don't get it. I really don't know it. And they're like, "Oh, well, it's okay. You probably know more than you think you know." No, there are a lot of things I know I don't know, so I can only imagine how much I don't know that I don't know. If that makes sense to anyone. It's one of those things where it's like the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. It's that kind of a feeling. And I know I don't know enough to know how much I don't know. Does that make sense? But I do find learning languages fun. Um, and I get a bunch of like polyglot, uh, multilingual people, polyglots. Their YouTube channels and whatnot are recommended to me from time to time, and I think they're fascinating, and they're fun to watch. But I also have to face facts. I don't think I'll ever be that level when it comes to being good at speaking a foreign language that I could consider myself that level of being good at it. Now I do enjoy. I'm gonna pull this all the way out. Yeah, here seems like a good place. Uh, I do enjoy learning foreign languages and whatnot, but I'm not sure I would consider myself necessarily good at any language besides maybe English. And even then, some days I do feel I have forgotten far more English than uh, than other people realize. And it's in part because I'm not around people who speak English as their first language. And then I also mix English with like nowadays I mix English with Chinese. But when I was in Japan, I would mix English and Japanese together sometimes when I was talking to people. Of course, when I would in Japan when I would order from like a restaurant, I would say my Japanese at that time was probably better than my English, not English, than my Chinese is at this point. But it was over a decade ago, so it's hard to say. Oh God. Well, that was a bit of a mistake. I definitely could have done a better job of pushing forward, but it all worked out, I guess. I should say though that these are my opinions and of my own ability, my own language ability and whatnot. And it is just me jabbering away talking about stuff. So don't be too stressed if you disagree with me. Plenty of people disagree with me, and that's okay. If everyone agreed with everyone, the world would be a boring place. Even though stuff like discourse can be stressful, frustrating, upsetting for some people, if you don't have anything even close to like a disagreement or discourse or whatever, if you're just surrounding yourself with people who agree with everything you say, you're in an echo chamber and your opinions are likely going to stay the same for all eternity. You will never have new opinions. Your thoughts will never evolve. You'll never be challenged, and it's just like exercise. If you don't push yourself, you're never going to get better at or stronger or whatever, however you want to put it. You don't always teach a kid 1 plus 1 equals 2. That you don't say, "Wow, you've mastered this one thing, so you've mastered mathematics." The same would be true for like a social discourse. You would need to practice your social discourse. It's just like I need to practice speaking English sometimes because I definitely have have trouble with having a solid flow in certain situations. I don't flow as well as I used to, and I don't flow as well as I want to. So, streaming, for example, is one way that I can improve my own ability to flow. It's like my my time to practice speaking, my chance to work on something that I personally feel I need to work on, which is having a solid, smooth flow when I'm talking and not pausing 100 times in a single sentence. I am not Captain Kirk when I talk, or I should not be Captain Kirk when I'm speaking. I should not emulate his speech patterns. You know what I mean? Okay, well, they're gonna fall back, and I'm gonna fall all the way back because it's blood moon. I definitely pushed. I pushed forward too much. I lost. I lost too many archers. Who knows how much else I lost by doing that push. But on the plus side, once I get that boat done, I can get out of here. And just looking at the time, I should know if I'm gonna be done with this map or not by 5 p.m. or not 5 p.m. by because it's already 5:30 by 5 hours. So I'll be able to know if I'm finished with this, and if I am, that's great. That's uh that's a good time. Wow, they're still out there, huh? That's that was I did not expect them to still be out there. Yeah. Okay. The bell's ringing means that that is the last of the enemies being defeated. Okay, he's gonna join them. There's nothing to worry about tonight because it's not a blood moon, or we just had a blood moon. I say that though, that boat could trigger. Oh man, I just realized that boat could trigger a blood moon. That would not be good. No money? Ah well. My economy was doing so well. I had so much money it was falling out of my 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 bag, my coin purse. Oh well. I do think about um, what would my life have been like if I had had a much smoother time studying overseas, or if I hadn't gone to um, the school in Japan that I went to. If I hadn't gone there, how would things have been different? I was not in an I was not in an environment that pushed me linguistically, for sure. I was in a an environment, at least in my opinion, that was very mm, safe. Is that the word that I'm looking for? The majority of people, I believe, could have gone there and taken all of those classes that I took. I did give myself a huge workload when I was there. I had two jobs and I did a bunch of side projects for different companies. Um, I recorded some audio for a CD that would be used in a local school, as an example, and that was just like a little side thing that I did. I spent maybe 2 days working on that, and I was just recording. I was recording lines, and that's it. That's all I did. Uh oh. Yep. There's that portal. Okay, I'm gonna do a push. I'm gonna do a push with them. I don't know how well it's gonna go. I have no idea. I did just trigger a blood moon. We are 35 minutes from 5 hours. Let's get these troops. Get these recruits. I'm a little bit worried I'm going to run into the enemy. Okay, okay. All right, they're gonna keep going. They're gonna keep going. All right, those guys are running that way. Maybe something happened. Still blood moon. We're still under a blood moon. So we still have enemies who are coming. Okay. That sound should mean that there are no more enemies. There's no more fighting happening. Every time I see the rubble from where the boat was, I think that's a broken wall. Yeah, it was. It must have been rough over here. At least he got his bow back, I guess. I need money. I don't have any money coming in, and I need money. Was it foolish to send that boat so early? Maybe. Very well could have been. Very well could be a death sentence for this king by doing that so quick. It was a lot more of a risk than what I would normally take. No, no one's there. Well, that's four people there. They're going to be coming back eventually. Hopefully, eventually. These two are going to go replace the builders that got robbed. Because they didn't get killed, they got robbed. Stop and eat some grass. Uh, this wall got blown up that bad, huh? Well, okay. So we're all the way back here now. They're gonna keep pushing that boat that way. I think that's the worst part about the builders is I'm gonna keep losing money by having to re-recruit or retrain or whatever the word is more and more and more builders. The situation is just gonna get worse and worse. I need more money. No one's got money for me. Yeah, this is a pretty bad position to be in. On the other hand, if I can get a single archer who can kill two rabbits, okay, that's at least some money. I want to see if they get attacked. If anything happens on this side, maybe. Doesn't look like it. Let's check the other side. If you have anything you want to say or ask or talk about, feel free to send a message in the chat. Those deer are definitely helping. Having just a little forest inside of the base is actually helping quite a lot because the towers can take out the deer. And that ensures I do have at least a little bit of money coming in if I can get the deer close enough. Jeez, you guys are all the way over here. I want to see where that boat is if I can. Looks like we're around midday. Boat is right here. Yeah, by the time the workers get to that point, the the greed, that's what they're called, the greed is already there. So what I need to do, what I believe that I need to do is I need to just focus on archers, and we're just gonna have to live without any workers for a little bit. Which is gonna be kind of rough because this right here needs workers. This catapult needs workers. But if I have no archers, I have no income. Once I get a handful of archers, I can start to rehire workers. But I gotta make sure I have the archers first. Okay. Let's say two more archers. Do I want to risk getting workers? Because I'm just going to get one and then he's going to run to the boat and stand there and wait for the next one. There's no point in getting them at this point. Let's get back to town. Okay, once these guys get into town, I'm gonna get. Can I afford it? Yeah, I'm gonna get 4 workers. At the very least, I can hope that one of them is gonna go repair stuff. And it is right there first thing in the morning, so they have the most amount of time outside of the day after a blood moon to get those archers moved, should they want to move them. And if they get them positioned just next to a portal, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Do we have anyone over here? We got, looks like 2. Yeah, these deer. I think I underestimated how good it is to keep deer. This is a blood moon. This is this might be rough. Okay, I'm gonna get back behind the wall. What day are we on? We are on day 29. If you have learned a second language, let me know what your second language is that you've learned. And you don't have to be fluent in it to say that you've learned a second language. I think if I were to try to pass a language exam, let's say I try to pass like the N5 or the N4 for Japanese or the N3 even. I think the N5 I could probably do, and I think the N4 is possible. There's no way I could do the N1. I don't know the honorifics for the N1. Um, I don't think I could do the N2 either. I think if I buckled down and studied for maybe 6 months, I could have a chance with the N3. I think if I studied for maybe a month or two, I could probably do the N1 or maybe even the not N1, the N5 because it goes in reverse from the way that I think about it. Um, I could potentially do the N5 and maybe even the N4 with like a month or two of study. Because I still retain some of the Japanese. I watch some shows with Japanese voiceovers, whatever. Um, okay, I am overflowing with money. We did just have a blood moon. Hmm. I'm thinking about for Chinese. I think that my Chinese my Chinese reading maybe is good enough. I definitely have an accent when I speak. Um, there are some people who have trouble understanding me when I speak, but then they're like children who say that I sound perfectly fine. Maybe I say a couple of words funny, but they think I sound fine. Um, so I don't know. Chinese is a bit more of an iffy thing. Korean, there's no way I could pass any exams. I have not studied enough Korean. I can't. I will watch If you know anything about like K-pop stuff, then you probably have heard of V Live. I cannot even watch a V Live and understand what people are saying. Like I might be able to pick out a few words here and there, but for the most part, I can't follow them. I can't follow what they're talking about. Now, if I had the opportunity to live in Korea again, I would probably buckle down more with my studies for like a month or two to try to make sure that I'm better at Korean. I actually have a bunch of Korean games, which at some point I intend to play on stream. I did a quick little, I've done a recording and I did a test play, um, a test stream with one of those games. Oh yeah, I should give you money so you can save it. Then if I need money later, then you've got it. That'd be nice. Really hoping some of those guys get here soon. Otherwise, everyone's just standing out there with no walls. Okay, you can start to see the money growing in there. That's nice. I don't think I have a single worker. So none of these walls are getting done. It's gonna be rough. Okay, we got some builders coming. We finally got some builders coming. I knew they were going to be on their way. I just wasn't sure how long it was going to take them to get there. Let's get one more. I want to keep them over here if I possibly can. I'm gonna get this upgraded. Hmm. Okay, we're coming up on sunset. Let's go back. Let's head back. Come on. Mm. I was thinking we'd be done with at least two portals by now, but it seems like we're not even done with one portal yet. Let's get some more archers. Not sure if I said that correctly. I was thinking we'd be done with at least two portals, possibly three. And we are clearly not even close. Are those archers in the same exact places they were? Did they actually get moved forward a little bit? Oh, they are so close to that portal. I could probably do a push. Would I want to try to get to there? There are no towers. Okay, we're around midday. We're gonna need four more workers, it looks like. Minimum four more. So I'll go ahead and start the building the hammers. I think 2 nights on this side, on the left side, the west side. That'll at least let me do a push. Whether it's a smart thing to do or not, hard to say. Probably not, but it's the only hope I have of actually finishing this map tonight. We're getting pretty close to 5 hours. Even if I wanted to stream longer, probably realistically, I can only stream for maybe another. Wow, we lost everyone, huh? Realistically, I can probably only stream for another like 20 minutes at the most. Not even sure if I can continue streaming that long. Because as soon as I start to hear all the noise and stuff, I'm gonna wanna end the stream. No, 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 no. You keep the money, man. You pick that money back up. Nice to see them repairing the wall. That's good. That's good. I think I've got some kimchi in my fridge. I might eat that today. Maybe I can have that with my. I guess it would be considered my breakfast since after I'm done streaming, I'm gonna take a nap, or probably just go to sleep. Blood moon. That sounds like a blood moon to me. After I'm done streaming, I'm gonna go to sleep, and blood moon from that way, huh? And after that, the next meal I have would be considered my breakfast, right? Good. We got a night. We got a night going that way. So that means I got all my archers. He'll probably run into the front lines on this side. Not really hearing, like I heard a little bit, But I'm not hearing a lot of archers shooting. All right. Seems like they made it. Hmm. If we only lost one job, that's not bad. That's not a bad blood moon. I know it's going to get 100 times worse, but that is not a bad blood moon if I only lost one. Now let's see the other side and assess the damage. Because I could have lost everyone on the other side, for all I know. No, seems okay. Oh, let me make sure my knight's fully powered so he can be a wall should he not act as a coward and run away like they like to do. Though to be fair, them running away is better than them standing and keeping the archers in a place where the archers could get killed. The issue is that them running away puts them in the back, and the archers are going to get killed anyway in that situation. Or they're going to lose their job. That's how I should put it. That's four archers or four bows. Those workers that ran all the way to the left, they should have at least brought the boat to the portal by this point. Day 36. Okay. I'm gonna do a push. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That portal is gone. So they did get past that portal. Which means we are gonna have a blood moon. Hopefully the blood moon's not too bad. I'm probably going to play Overlord tomorrow. See, tomorrow is yeah, it's Wednesday. Tomorrow is going to be Wednesday for anyone watching the stream. Today is actually Wednesday for me. It's 6:20, 6:21, 6:22 now, a.m. on Wednesday. Looks like the moon is coming up. I know I've gotten a little bit quiet. Ooh, we lost both knights. Must be a pretty rough push on this side then. From the enemy, I mean. Okay, we still have two workers on the catapult. That's nice. Okay, we have giants. We have giants that we have to deal with. Okay, let's run all the way back. Hopefully, we're going to be able to live with everything that we've got. Okay, seems like we made it through. That's nice. That's nice to see. That's nice to know. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna recruit everyone that I possibly can find. And then, ooh, they broke the wall. And then I'm probably gonna end the stream. Now, they did break the wall. That's not good. I'm gonna make sure I have workers before I do anything else. Because if that wall is broken, there's not much left in the way of protection this way. I'm gonna need that at least. Gonna want that at least. Let's go grab money from these archers, from our hunting squad. And it'll probably be night. Good money, good money. Do we have any other? Nope, not looking like it at least. Okay, let's stop, eat some grass so that we can run again a little bit sooner. Okay, come on. Could be there's no attack tonight since we did just have a blood moon, and that would be nice if that is the case, and I think it could very well be the case. I'm gonna get more workers. Don't even have enough money for that. Oh. Get behind this wall. Okay, here I was thinking that there's gonna be no more attacks because of the blood moon. No, there's still attacks coming. Because that's not a regular blood moon. Let's get this rebuilt, and then I'm going to upgrade it. I was thinking, it's not gonna be too bad. It'll be fine. Because we just had a blood moon. No, no. That's not a regular one. But I wouldn't have known that. And by that I mean I wouldn't have known that there were enemies. So I would not have known to rebuild if I had not followed the workers. So I'm going to get this fully built, fully upgraded. If I can. This guy's running this way for some reason. I do hope that they can get this wall finished. Has anyone else made it to the camp? Yeah, we got quite a few over here who've made it to the camp. That'll be a nice influx of people coming in. Are you gonna work on this wall? Okay, we at least have one worker working on this wall. Okay, we got two workers working on this wall. Should be able to get it done tonight then. Hopefully before the next assault. I'm not gonna stick around for too much longer. Yeah. Okay, they got it done. They got that done. The archers will be able to help protect that, which will be nice. I don't even have enough to do that. Let's make sure I get some more builders going. Yeah. Oh, wow. If we have this guy here, that means we must have lost the wall over there, right? Or maybe it was just a builder who got stuck outside the wall for some reason. They sure do love hanging out outside the walls. I'm gonna grab money from here. Where is he? Where'd he go? I don't see him anywhere. Yeah, it was an archer who got, or potentially builders, who got taken down. Okay, I'm gonna need to end it. As much fun as this is, and as much as it's like, oh, just one more night, one more thing, one more whatever. Um, which is very much the loop that I'm in right now. Oh no, that's a blood moon. Wow, we have so many who are over here. Come on, guys, at least try your best to get behind the wall. Which way is it coming from? That way? Blood moon's from this way, huh? It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a rough time. I've at least got those guys going in. Okay, you're just shooting the deer. That's fine. Yeah, you keep those castle doors closed. you guys really gonna run that way? I have not heard the bells yet, so I'm a little bit nervous. We have people who have lost their weapons, but not lost their citizenship or whatever. Alright, let's get going. Hey, if you want to stand, if you want to sit there and do nothing, you just sit there and do nothing. That's fine. Okay, let's get archers. Alright, well, that was a blood moon. It's saving. We're not in a bad situation. Not as bad as I was expecting us to be in. We got lots of archers. Can I get some more money from my bank? Alright. We should be... Yeah. Since that was a regular blood moon, we should be safe on this side to go do some recruiting. Maybe not. Maybe someone is attacking from that way, and that's why the dog's barking. Anyway, I am going to end it here. We've gone over 5 hours, but we're still under 6 hours. I can edit this down on YouTube. We'll see how I edit these. Maybe I can cut it so that I divide it into like, okay, I played this game, I played Evo Land, and then cut it at a certain point, and then the next part we'll pick up with Kingdom. I'll have to start thinking about doing stuff like that, since these are becoming multi-game streams from time to time. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope my rants and whatnot did not bother. Maybe bother's not the right word. Did not make any of you feel that I am too cynical or too negative. Whoa, that's a lot of them. Okay, I'm gonna need to get money so I can get those guys. Do you have money? You have no money. Okay. I know I talked about some things that are... In the past, I've had people get mad at me when I discussed having negative experiences overseas with study abroad and stuff. They want it to think, they want to believe it's a super magical time and everything's wonderful and rainbows, but the harsh reality is sometimes things don't work out for the best. Sometimes things kind of get rough. And that's just part of life. Life's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Doesn't matter if you're in a country that you've dreamed of living in for 20 years or 100 years, whatever. There are going to be ups and downs every day. And that's something that we all have to face. I I do my best to stay realistic with my expectations and with the way that I talk about things. And sometimes realism upsets people. So if I upset you, uh, I hope that you will not be so upset next time. I can't really say anything beyond that. Like I'm my experiences are my own. Anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Let me know if you have ever studied a second language. And if you have, what has your experience been? Have you felt like you mastered it at a certain point? Or is it that every time you learn more about it, much like my own experience, you realize that there's still so much left that you don't know? It's like a just a you're digging a hole, and the more you dig, the more you realize there's still so much more dirt to dig up. I guess. I guess that's the analogy I'm gonna be using. I guess it's a weird analogy. Anyway, I hope you all had a good time. Until next time, I hope you all continue to stay healthy and stay awesome. Bye bye. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye. Bye bye.